I'm excited to see so many people in the room here today. So, firstly, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to take Bamboo seriously and help us move this movement forward. So, I'm Orin, and I'm going to keep it relatively brief after lunch. I hope that everybody had a good meal, and I just want to let you know that if you're tired, sleeping is okay, but snoring is prohibited. I have a bit of a problem. I have a bamboo addiction. It's a intergenerational family issue. I'm still seeking professional help, but so far I'm still actively enabling lots of different people. So I want to share what we've learned over the last 15 years about building in Bali, but not just about building. I want to talk about dreaming, about believing. To me, bamboo is not just a material, it's a movement of humans committed to making the world a better place and the buildings that we live in more sustainable and more beautiful. So, I grew up in Bali. I'm originally from Canada, and you know, like the Philippines, bamboo was the backdrop of everyday life, just another part of the environment, something used for buildings, for craft, for food. And growing up, I actually had the privilege of living in a not so well built bamboo building, you know, usually in the company of geckos, rats, snakes, scorpions. Despite being from Canada, I really understood why in Bali, just like in the Philippines, they referred to bamboo as the poor man's timber. And this was all while my dad, who is now a bamboo advocate, but he actually gained a bamboo addiction because he needed to get over his wood addiction. This was while he was building this real house, which was out of ironwood. My mother, on the other hand, was a little bit ahead of the curve. You may have seen my sister's TED Talk. When my mother asked my sister what she wanted her house to look like, she drew a fairy mushroom house. And my mother, you know, was crazy enough to actually build it. And I never really thought twice about the fact that it was made of bamboo when I was little. And unfortunately, as the younger brother, I had to live downstairs in a concrete stock. Not working. It's called a bamboo mushroom. Oh, it goes back. Oh, there we go, it worked. Okay. So we didn't really know that bamboo is sustainable timber of the future yet. But over the past 20 years, as many of you know, this humble material has captured the imagination of many people. It's strong, it's beautiful, it's lightweight, and it's extremely fast growing. So how many other plants can go from being soil, sunlight, and water into a 40-meter tall plant that's strong enough that you can build you can build a house in just a few steps? It really is, I think, the poster child of green or sustainable bamboo construction. And interestingly, when I was in university, I tried to study sustainable building, but this was their idea of what a sustainable building looked like when, you know, in 2010, when I was in college. When I got back to Bali and saw what my family was up to in 2012, I learned that actually a bamboo house, sustainability can look like this. And seeing the structures that my dad and my stepmother and my sister were building when they created the Green School and other projects was really inspiring. It gave me hope and reminded me that the challenges we face in the world are actually really a bridge to unlock our shared potential. Now, solutions to complicated problems that we exist in this time can be as simple as elevating people's understanding as of something as humble and simple as Bamboost. Now, I co-founded Bamboo U to create a platform, really to bring people together, to learn more about bamboo, but also to empower people to build with bamboo buildings around the world. We need to rethink the building industry to use natural materials. And I had the privilege of being part of an existing growing industry of round hole bamboo construction in Bali. And so we decided our mission was really to empower more people how to build with bamboo. And we've been doing this at Bamboo U mostly through short courses with participants from many, many different countries. So we've run over 32 different in-person courses and 14 online courses. And we've had people from over 70 countries, most of them designers, architects, builders, developers, entrepreneurs, and of course, engineers. Although I want to say that we need more engineers in our courses. So it's exciting to be here with DACE to really see how we can help with that out there. So we teach people about the different ways that we have learned how to use bamboo in its simplest form as a round pole and as a semi-processed material. And our main focus is really to use that to build a lot of beauty and a lot of magic in our building. So I want to share some of the techniques that we've learned and how we've used them over the years. So in the early days, most of our structures followed the vocabulary that was known with post and beam construction. We simply adapted ideas from wood construction and started building structures. There's a lot that can be done with a series of bamboo frames, similar to timber. With just a simple model and the right skills, this served us really well. And while computers can be really helpful for building bamboo structures, they're not necessarily needed in a lot of contexts. And it looks simple enough, but this type of construction requires a lot of humble yet very important carpentry skills that are really only available in certain places like Bali, where craftsmanship is already integrated into the cultural DNA of the location. Fish mouths, angle mouths, bolt joints, hole joints are all much more complicated than they look. And when you involve designers, well, let's just say it gets really complicated very, very quickly. This is a guy trying to get a pole into place in one of the bigger structures we made in 2000, and I believe it was 15. Now, this, I think, really drove a lot of early bamboo designers and engineers to think about how do we build creatively, really taking the material into account. How do we design for the bamboo? And so it turns out that things like building with hyperbolic paraboloids, it sounds really complicated, but in many ways it's easier than building poster beam structures because it really takes into account the natural quality of bamboo as a round pole. So this is Tiga Gunung, which was one of the early created by Bali. It was built by Yorkstown in 2007, and it was really the first of its kind. It allowed us to push the natural strength of bamboo to its limits, making dynamic curvilinear structures without bending a single pole. And the beauty of this technique is you can really change it. You can change the parameters and follow the same general pattern to create a lot of different options and a lot of different shapes and structures. This is a kitchen that I actually built with Bamboo U students with the help of Balinese carpenters at our campus. It's called Dapur Naga. Now, Jorg adapted the technique from the work of Fray Otto, and it has many applications. Here we have a structure that we worked on that's a series of modular diamond grids, and we used it to create a workshop space that I love because it has this harmony between having simple geometry but creating a organic flowing form. And you can have lots of fun with this structure. This is also a similar technique but used to make something you can fold up and take away. So, you know, this is, again, we made this with Bamboost students in about 2 days. Of course, we pre-made the canvas top, but you just get a sense that there are a lot of different options and a lot of possibilities. Now, of course, everybody who takes our courses is always asking, well, how do you bend the bamboo, right? So I want to talk a little bit about art structures. And while bamboo is naturally curvy, making it bend is actually really difficult. Now, and this is a, you know, maybe it's not really a secret, but most of the structures that we started building in Bali and that are getting quite popular are actually built by just cutting incisions into the bamboo pole and bending like this. The engineers in the room will know that this is obviously challenging and maybe even scary because you're essentially weakening the bamboo pole by cutting those incisions to create the curve. Nevertheless, we've managed to create some pretty impressive results using this technique. With lots of on-site testing and some very willing and good engineers that were able to think outside of the box and create a whole lot of one-to-one in situ testing models, really exceptional results can be achieved. This structure, in order to ensure that the arches were strong enough, we had to actually add a whole lot of additional splits to account for the cuts in the bamboo bundles. The Green School Arc is an example of where state-of-the-art engineering, craftsmanship, and design are all working together in harmony. Now, of course, we're always looking for better solutions. So instead of cutting, recently we've gotten into heat bending. Now, this is where you take a pole, and it only works with smaller diameter poles, but you take a pole and you use heat in order to bend it into an arch to create also really beautiful results. And while this has been practiced in other parts of Asia and in South America, this is the first heat bend building in Bali, made out of bamboo that we harvested 20 meters away from where this structure stands. So you can also, of course, split the bamboo, and that makes it much easier to bend. And 2 splits sandwiched together is already enough to make a lot of bamboo structures. And you can expand this concept up. Sorry, a little bit back. 1 forward. No, 1 more. Oh. No, no. Next one. Oh, no. Oh, there we go. Okay, we did it. So you can expand this concept by gluing, pinning, and bundling your bamboo splits together to create the shapes that you want. And we've really experimented with a lot of. This way might actually be the most enjoyable way to look at how you can build, especially if you're building with students who don't have a lot of experience in bamboo construction or construction in general. Keep it simple, let your creativity flow, and make a lot of the design decisions as you build. Of course, you can also make it much more technical and get 3D models and augmented reality and project your building into space and then go ahead and build it. And this structure we actually did with augmented reality and HoloLenses, and the blueprints for the building are in the goggles themselves. And so the carpenters and the students work together, and we showed that we can actually use this material to build bamboo structures due to the fact that you can build to a much larger degree of tolerance when you're building bamboo as opposed to a conventional building where the tolerances are much smaller, mainly due to the fact of right angles. So we actually had a lot of fun with this one. And this is so Christoph from Hong Kong University really taught me that high tech and low tech can be really good friends. And really good friends can do really fun things together. So we actually took the same concept where we had the grid on the smaller domes that we prototyped with, and then we went ahead and made this one. And it literally was made flat, and then we popped it into shape. I almost had a heart attack because we didn't quite get it up before the end of the night. It took, in the 3D model it happened really fast, but in reality, of course, it took longer, and we gave ourselves lots of time, but it still wasn't enough time. And we actually had it hanging in place, and the crane operator was, of course, very worried about the fact that we weren't detaching the crane before the end of the night. And I was like, well, it's bamboo, it's light, and we couldn't get the scaffolding in time to prop it in the right place, and if we undid it, we would have not been able to finish it the next day. And so we ended up, kind of sweet-talking him into just letting us leave it hanging. And then I woke up at 2:30 a.m. and there's an earthquake. And I'm calling security. I'm like, oh my God, is the crane okay? I was worried I was going to have to spend a couple $100,000 on a crane. Luckily, the crane was fine, and there's no problem. So this is the final result. It's our workshop at Bamboo U now. So, my next question, and what I always like to think about is with all the people that come to Bamboo U, is what are you going to do with bamboo? And it's exciting to see so many people here in the Philippines, because I feel like the Philippines is becoming a really important hotspot for bamboo construction. And I love that I can come here and learn so many new things that we don't know in Bali, and work together. So, like bamboo, or like you, bamboo comes in lots of different shapes, colors, and sizes, and it'll really be what you make of it. Gotta work on this remote. Okay, there we go. Next one. Okay, doesn't want to go. Can really become what you make of it. Oh, no, there it worked. Okay. Sorry, guys. So as you learn more about the secrets of this material, I believe it will open up more and more possibilities. And in the tropical regions of the world, building like we do in Bali is possible if we can learn to think about construction outside of the box. And if we have the courage to do things that haven't been done before. But for urban environments in temperate regions, engineered bamboo is also becoming accessible, comparable to steel in strength and cost, but more beautiful. Even in the conventional modern context, the unique curvilinear nature of bamboo can play an important role. So this beam is actually being fabricated right here in the Philippines by Rhizome, and I think David is here in the audience. So it's just really exciting to see how this material can span across a really wide range of possibilities and options. This is another beautiful building. This is actually a round hole building that's been built right here in the Philippines. It looks like a rendering, but it's not. This is a real structure. It's a Hawaiian eco park. Last month I was in Germany learning about the work that the bamboo industry is doing there. So there's a lot of people, even in Europe, who are interested in growing the bamboo industry. And it struck me that there's no bamboo in Europe, or not very much bamboo in Europe, but people are still dreaming about having bamboo. But then you come to the Philippines, and like most of the tropical world, including Bali, people don't want a bamboo house. They want a house that looks like a European house. And unlike bamboo, and unlike Europe, the Philippines